Hi everyone, Titan's just asking you all just to confirm with him that you can pick up the sound okay. They're just trying to sort out any last minute technical problems that people are having. Once we get into our stride, obviously it would be, I think we're interested to know which of you are regular students and who, where you are in the world and where you've come from if you're just popping in. Hi Shazzy Bays, we can see your type fine. I think Indigo is just trying to settle you in.
Welcome to the London School of Journalism. Today Andrew will be talking to you about interviewing.
Thank you very much. Hopefully you're all picking up the sound now. It's nice to see you all. Sort of welcome to the London School of Journalism and to, we're still, as you may have gathered, finding my way around Second Life as well. So I'll do my best not to sort of walk out the room by accident as we go along. The way things are set up tonight, we've got, I think we're recording this and it should be a transcript in sort of video form which you'll be told about of tonight's lecture. As we go along, if you've got any specific queries, feel free to type them in as we go and we'll try and pick them up. Don't worry if we can't pick them up straight away. I'll obviously have a record of them here and we'll see if we can get back to you. You can always let me know the same way if I start to shout. It's slightly sort of unusual speaking in a whisper when you're giving a lecture, but I'm trying not to deafen you all. We're talking tonight, the subject of the lecture is sort of interviewing skills, obviously an important subject to journalists, but very relevant to other walks of life too, and sometimes very much a skill that's underestimated, I think, on formal journalism courses. Sometimes it's presumed that these are somehow things that are going to come naturally to everyone. The evidence is that it takes a little practice to become a successful and effective interviewer. Secretaries, hello. Obviously, the nature of the interview is going to dictate the approach we take. As journalists, we tend to be speaking to people for a variety of different reasons, and there'll be big differences in the type of interview we conduct, depending, for example, whether we're simply trying to confirm factual information or, at the other end of the scale, perhaps carrying out an in-depth features interview. It's something that newcomers to journalism do get nervous about. So, if there's anything you're worried about or uncomfortable with, or experiences that you've had that where an interview hasn't gone the way that you would have liked it to have gone, feel free to type your questions and we'll try to deal with them as we move along. Possibly the first question to ask is why do we actually interview people and what are we hoping to get from them? And if we think about a breaking news story like the terrible terrorism attack in Mumbai this week, we're often simply looking for information about what's happening and what's going on. And those times our questions are likely to be the classic sort of journalism questions, the what, when, where, how, who, how many people, and so on. We want to know what's happened, where it's happened, how many people have been affected. Usually as journalists, we're looking for a mixture of facts and quotes. Facts to stand up our story, and quotes to make it more vivid and credible and readable. If we speak to to eyewitnesses, for example, we want to find out what they've seen and get vivid quotes from them in their own words, since that'll be more real to our readers. For example, with the 7/7 bomb attacks in London, it's fine to tell people about what's happened in the third person, but it makes it much more real if perhaps somebody who's been caught up in events or has escaped from the tube is able to tell us in their own words exactly what they saw and what they experienced. And part of that, of course, is that, and it's the same reason that television interviewers want to speak to eyewitnesses, and here in this country we've obviously seen interviews on the TV with people who have just flown back from India because they are more likely to be expressing things in their own words, in the ordinary language, and that makes things, I think, more vivid to us, and there's obviously an aspect of credibility as well. Sometimes it's specific questions that journalists are asking, what time did something happen, how many people were there. Sometimes it's better to allow somebody to tell us what they saw in their own words, a sort of narrative account, if you like, in which case what we call open questions are more effective. Tell me what you saw, what happened next, what did you see, how did you feel? Open questions are the ones which encourage people to speak and which don't have a yes-no answer. A closed question is one which tends to put words in your mouth, or which begs a one-word response. What's your favourite colour? Did you feel scared? That sort of thing. So obviously, open questions are very useful to journalists because they, in different contexts, enable people perhaps to get more relaxed, to open up to us, to start using their own language, their own choice of phrasing, and also it may be easy for them to recall what happened and tell us exactly what occurred, whether that's in a chronological way or not, rather than with us directing them. It means it's more likely that they'll be able to tell the story in a dramatic, personal way. It means that we're less likely to be leading them to suggesting ways in which they might answer us. And overall, that way there's likely to be more vitality and reality in the way they describe things, which, from our point of view, will make for compelling reading. Or listening, if it's in the sense of a radio or television broadcast. At the same time, we'll be asking very specific questions of those people who are in a position to give us the facts: the police, the fire brigade, hospitals, etc. The emergency services generally are often the first point of call for sort of breaking news stories, because they're obviously in a position to confirm how many people are injured, or when the fire was put out, or how many ambulances attended. And again, the official sources, they're important from a credibility point of view. They're important for us to assess the scale of the accident or the event or the disaster, the protest, how many people were there, and so on. It may not be the definitive answer, and I think journalists all the time are looking to different sources to provide us with different insights, because obviously, classically, we might expect on a protest march that there will be conflicting views of what happened or something. There may be official police figures for how many marchers were present, and the organisers may have a different figure. And our role, certainly in a news story, is to try to give people an objective picture of what the two sides are saying.